to a fresh new episode of Science Monitor, our weekly update on all that is happening in the field of science and technology in and around the country. In today's episode, we will talk about the novel research being carried out by researchers at University of Kolkata and eco-friendly stoves designed by students. In addition, we will also discuss about the rare Mercury transit that will occur on 9th of May. But before that, let us take a look at the headlines. Uttarakhand forest fires wreak havoc on wildlife. Say goodbye to plug points. Nano generators to charge mobile through body movements. School students design eco-friendly stoves, aids both cooking and room heating. In our In Focus segment today, we will discuss about the rare astronomical phenomenon, the transit of Mercury. And now the news in detail. The recent forest fires of Uttarakhand have wreaked havoc on wildlife. Though such forest fires are commonplace during summers, the calamity this year has grown out of proportion, requiring the help of army to extinguish the fires. While experts believe that the fires are the outcome of declined rainfall and increased temperatures, researchers fear that this may have far-reaching consequences like increased pollution levels and melting of glaciers.
Summer forest fires in Uttarakhand might have been a common occurrence, but none that escalated to such proportions. While extensive army operations and an intermittent rainfall have for the time being doused the fires, the hills remain shrouded with heavy smoke. The multiple forest fires that ravaged the forest of Uttarakhand was extinguished with the help of more than 6,100 personnel and 3 IAF choppers fitted with Bambi bucket to carry water. Poor rainfall to extreme dryness and climate change. Experts attribute many reasons to the incident.
It's a time for adjoining areas which haven't been burned in terms of understanding that whether these are in a position to get burnt next year if such kind of human error or even climatic variations happened, or there is no again lesser monsoon if or winter showers in that area, then there could be possibility that the adjoining areas which are not been burned, those would start burning.
Added to this is the fact that 16% of Uttarakhand forests are made of sure pine trees, which are highly combustible. While forest fires have wreaked havoc on the wildlife and destroyed vegetation in this area, experts warn of much more serious consequences. According to researchers, the forest fires could have far-reaching and devastating consequences, besides the large-scale pollution the fires have caused. The fire are predicted to cause rapid melting of state's glaciers and in turn affect the water levels of major rivers flowing through India's northern plains. Experts also warn that the black carbon from smoke and ash that has covered the glaciers might make them melt faster.
Needless to say, our daily lives have become heavily dependent on our mobile phones. But we must agree, charging them can be a real hassle, especially while we are traveling. But now it is time to say goodbye to plug points and mobile chargers, as researchers have come up with a technique to charge mobiles using body movements. The technology has been developed by scientists at the Jadavpur University in Kolkata. The team has developed a DNA-based nano generator which can convert the energy of body movements to electricity. Let us see this report.
No one can deny that mobile phones and portable tabs have made communication and many other activities of day-to-day life much easier. Hassle comes when their batteries run out fast and one gets into a fix finding a charging spot, especially during travel. But what if we could completely avoid plug points and power packs and depend upon our simple body movement to charge our phones? Yes, this may now be possible with the super smart DNA-based Nano Generators, developed by a team of researchers under the leadership of Dr. Deepankar Mandal from the Organic Nano Piezoelectric Device Laboratory, Jadavpur University, Kolkata. The team has developed a novel kind of nano generator using a biocompatible polymer film made out of polyvinylidene fluoride or PVDF.
Our idea, if we can able to make it the self power, because this nano generator is so sensitive, and we can take the energy from our everyday motions, from the living environment, for example, from walking, talking, even from the blood flow and wind and any sorts of energy, because it is ultra sensitive to the vibrations. And as our portable devices is becoming smaller and smaller, so the requirements is power is also smaller, and that can be fulfilled by this kind of generators, mechanical energy harvester we sometimes say.
The device is based on the science of piezoelectric effect, which refers to the ability of certain materials to generate electricity in response to applied mechanical stress. The generator can harvest energy from everyday motion, like tapping a phone, and turn it into electrical power. To add to the efficiency, the researchers have incorporated DNA into the device, which, due to its ability to conduct electricity, increases the energy harvesting ability of the device. The team has demonstrated that the device can be powered with gentle tapping and can light up 22 to 55 light-emitting diodes. Going a step ahead, the team has further designed novel nano generators using cellulose, the most abundant biopolymer on Earth.
As our materials made with the piezoelectric materials, the flexible piezoelectric materials, so our device you can able to fold it, you can place into your shoe, and you can walk and you can generate some sort of power, and that eventually you can use for your mobile phones and any sorts of portable electronics that you want. So it is very, very useful.
The team has come up with a novel material by mixing cellulose with a kind of silicon called poly-dimethyl-siloxane and carbon nanotubes, which can be used to charge body implants and biomedical devices. Using body's internal stretches, vibrations, and other movements like heartbeats, blood flow. The research that has been published in the journal ACS Applied Materials and Interfaces opens up a new area of novel energy storage devices that are more efficient, environment-friendly, safe to use, and most importantly, biodegradable.
While LPG stoves have taken the place of traditional stoves, a large number of households still depend on traditional stoves or chulhas for cooking. While the smoke from these chulhas is a huge environmental hazard, they also pose serious threat to health. Now, 2 school students have come up with an innovative solution to this challenge. The students have created a fusion stove from traditional tandoor and hamam, which can be used both for cooking and heating rooms. How? Let us see in our next segment, Technology You Can Use.
Due to their adverse effects on health and environment, the use of traditional chulhas has seen a rapid decline over the years. While traditional chulhas has been largely replaced by stoves and LPG gas, a large number of households still depend on traditional chulhas. A prime example is many households of Himachal Pradesh, which depend on traditional designs like tandoor for cooking and hammams for boiling water. But what if the two devices used for different yet similar purposes are fused? This exactly is the idea behind the novel stove model called the fusion of Hamam and Tandoor, developed by Parvati Bhardwaj and Mrigesh Thakur, two students from Kullu, Himachal Pradesh.
इसमें हमने हमाम और तंदूर दोनों ही कंपोनेंट्स को मिक्स कर दिया है और ये हमारा आउटपुट निकला है। इस डिवाइस में सबसे पहले हम एक फ्यूल वुड चेम्बर है, उसमें हम लकड़ी डालते हैं। जब हम उसमें लकड़ी डालते हैं तो उससे जो हीट प्रोड्यूस होती है, उससे जो फ्लैट बेस है ऊपर, उसमें उसकी हीट से कुकिंग होती है। साथ में हमने एक फ़नल लगाई है। जब हम उस फ़नल के अंदर पानी डालते हैं तो वो कंडक्शन से हीट होता है और एक टैप लगाया है जिससे वो पानी बाहर निकल सके। साथ ही साथ जब हम लकड़ी जलाएंगे तो नेचुरली हीट रेडिएट होगी। तो जब उस पूरे मॉडल में हीट रेडिएट होगी तो हम इस हीट से पूरे अपने घरों को भी गर्म कर सकते हैं और विंटर्स में स्पेशली हम इसे हीट करने के लिए यूज़ कर सकते हैं।
The stove is multi-purpose and can be used for a large number of functions ranging from cooking to boiling water and heating up rooms. The tandoor is made of a thick layer of metal which acts as an insulation and doesn't let the heat from firewood escape. The tandoor comes with a special chamber above it, fitted with a tap and which can be used to boil water. The stove has been designed to prevent the loss of heat from fuel. While these eco-friendly fusion stoves consume 40 to 50% less fuel and firewood than traditional stoves, these stoves are 25 to 30 times more efficient than traditional stoves at cooking food.
एग्जाम्पल देता हूँ। मान लो अगर आप हमाम और तंदूर को अलग अलग यूज़ कर रहे हो, हमाम में आपकी 2 किलो लकड़ी लग रही है और तंदूर में आपकी 2 किलो लकड़ी लग रही है, तो आपको आपकी 4 किलो लकड़ी लग रही है, जिसमें बहुत पोल्यूशन भी क्रिएट हो रहा है। तो वही अगर हम उन दोनों को कंबाइन करेंगे तो जो हमारा लकड़ी का यूजेज है वो सिर्फ 2 किलो, हम सिर्फ 2 किलो लकड़ी से खाना भी पका सकते हैं, पानी भी गर्म कर सकते हैं और साथ ही में रूम भी गर्म कर सकते हैं।
Another added advantage is the reduced carbon dioxide emission from these stoves compared to traditional stoves, which is highly beneficial to health. The students have designed the outlet chimney of this fusion stove with a layer of lime and filter paper, which can absorb carbon residues present in the smoke. The novel design, needless to say, can go a long way in curbing household pollution.
And now it is time to take a short break. We'll be back with more science news. Stay tuned. Welcome back after the break. You're watching Science Monitor. Let us now have a look at some important science and technology activities happening in India and abroad in our next segment, Science Express.
As 50 new fellows join the prestigious Royal Society, India's scientific acumen has been proved again. 4 among the 50 outstanding researchers are 2 of Indian nationality. The Indian origin researchers who have been elected to the Royal Society include Dr. Sriram Ramaswamy, the founder of the field of active matter, which studies the collective behavior of objects, and Dr. L. Mahadevan, who is renowned for his studies at understanding the geometrical and dynamical patterns of shape and flow in physical and biological matter. In a step towards emphasizing health warnings on tobacco use, India's Supreme Court has directed the tobacco industry that the tobacco packs must carry bigger warnings. According to the new tobacco control rules, the health warnings must cover 85% of a cigarette pack's surface, up from 20% earlier.
On 9th of May, the world stands to witness a rare celestial event when Mercury will pass between the Sun and the Earth. Last seen on 8th of November 2006, the phenomenon is called the Transitive Mercury and will be next seen in 2019. The phenomenon is different from eclipse and Mercury will be seen as a small black dot on the face of Sun. So what is Mercury transit and how do planets undergo transit? Well, to know more on this, we have in our studio today Shri Arvind Ranade, who is a scientist with Vigyan Prasar. Well, we will discuss about Mercury transit in details with him. Before that, let us see this brief report.
May 9th, 2016. The world stands to witness a rare celestial event, the transit of Mercury. The transit of Mercury across the face of the Sun is repeating itself after a long gap of 10 years, as it was last observed in 2006. This will be the point when Mercury, the smallest planet in our solar system, will pass directly between the Earth and the Sun, and Mercury will appear as a small dark black disk moving in front of the Sun. A transit in scientific term refers to the passage of a planet across the Sun's bright disk and is a very rare astronomical event. Mercury passes between Earth and Sun every 116 days, but as the orbit of Mercury around the Sun is tilted compared with the orbit of the Earth around the Sun, the planet normally appears to pass above the Sun. A transit takes place when the Earth, Mercury and the Sun align during their movements and are exactly in line in 3 dimensions. Technically, Mercury's orbit crosses Earth's orbital plane in early May and early November each year. However, a transit will be only seen if the Mercury is passing between the Earth and Sun at the same time. It is generally observed that there is an average of only 13 transits of Mercury in each century, and according to experts, the next transits will occur in 2019 and 2032. The May 9th transit is predicted to start at 1642 IST and can be seen till sunset, lasting 7.5 hours, while experts break the transit to 5 stages. The mid-transit, that is the point when Mercury will be seen at the center of Sun's surface, will occur at 1457 GMT. The transit will be visible throughout most of the world, except in Japan and other parts of Eastern Asia, Oceania and Antarctica. But there is nothing to be disappointed, as the Royal Astronomical Society has made provisions for the public to watch the transit online. Like in the case of solar eclipse, experts direct the use of appropriate eye protection while watching the transit, as looking directly at the Sun can cause permanent eye damage or blindness.
All right, let's go across to Dr. Arvind Ranade, who is a scientist with Vigyan Prasar. Thank you so much, Dr. Arvind, for joining us today. Dr. Arvind, as we know that we are going to witness a rare astronomical event, so the first question is obviously what is the Mercury transit and how and when and why does it happen?
I think as far as the viewers are concerned, it is most important to first understand what is the transit. The transit is a phenomena when the primary object which is in the background has a little bigger angular size as compared to the object which is in front, moving in front of the Sun. And then it is obvious that the transit which is going to occur on the 9th of May, in which the Mercury, which is the first planet from the Sun, is going across the, let us say, the Sun's disk, where we will be able to see the travel time or the travel of the Mercury in front of the disk of the Sun. And precisely the size of the Mercury is going to be so small, which is almost about a 12 arc second. So certainly when it is moving across the disk of the Sun, we are going to see it is as a small black dot moving in front of the Sun, and that is precisely nothing but the transit of Mercury.
Dr. Arvind, this is all about Mercury that we are discussing today, but are there any other planets as well which undergo such transits?
Wonderful question, because see, we are at the 3rd place from the Sun. So as far as the Earth is concerned, there are 2 objects, or rather the 2 planets which are moving inside the orbit of the Earth. So certainly Mercury, then after the Venus. So as far as Earth is concerned, the Mercury and the Venus are the 2 objects which can go in front of the Sun, and it does go, and that is the reason that we see the transit of Mercury as well as the transit of Venus. However, the transit of Mercury occurs almost 13 to 14 times a century, and as far as the Venus is concerned, it happens once in 109 years or 121 years. So the transit of Venus is so rare. However, the transit of Mercury is quite often, though it is not as frequent as one can think of.
All right, and since you're mentioning that these celestial events are very rare, so how crucial is this occasion to astronomers?
Absolutely, as I said, this is the rare events as far as the transit phenomena is concerned. I think it is important to first note that only because of the transits, if you look at the history of the astronomy, these transits are actually helped us to find out the distance between the sun and the earth. So by and large, such a kind of events are helping, rather helped to a lot many astronomers, well, let us say even mathematicians, to first calculate the distance between the earth and sun. So that is one aspect. However, as far as the common man is concerned, I think this is the one of the fascinating event that one should be able to enjoy this event, because that's not going to happen every now and then. So I think the importance goes on increasing, and I wish that everybody gets a clear sky to see this particular transit going to occur on the 9th of May.
As you just mentioned that these celestial events are going to generate huge interest among public as well. So the big question is, will this event be visible from India? And if yes, then at what time and where?
Yeah, I think as far as the India is concerned, this particular transit of Mercury is going to start about 4:30 IST, that is Indian Standard Time. So obviously, when we look at the eastern and western span of the India, that is a geographical span, then certainly the transit for the eastern state, especially the northeastern state, let us say the Nagaland or Arunachal Pradesh, they are going to see this particular transit for quite less time as compared to the people who are in the, let us say, the western part of the India, like Maharashtra, Gujarat, Rajasthan, because for them the sun is going to set quite early as compared to the, let us say, Mumbai or let us say Surat or Ahmedabad, those kind of things. So as far as the India is concerned, the transit is going to start at the 4:30 p.m. on 9th of May, and it will be there as long as the sun is in the horizon for every observer as far as India is concerned. So by and large, we can say that for the Indian population, we can see the transit of Mercury right from 1 hour 30 minutes to about 2 hour 15 to 2 hour 30 minutes.
All right. And what are the precautions that people should take while watching this? Can we see it by naked eye or not?
It's a good question, because it is, we strongly recommend, or rather it is essential that we should never look at the sun, because of it is a hugely bright objects and which can certainly damage our eyes. So we strongly feel that rather we are categorically mentioning that never look at the sun, number one. Number two, as far as this particular transit is concerned, since the angular size of the Mercury is too small, it is about the 150th time less than the size of the Mercury, size of the Sun. So obviously, it is a 12 arc seconds of angular size of the Mercury, which is going to be hard. It's very difficult to see with the solar filters. So best way to look at this transit is to see with the projected image of the sun. So by and large, any small telescope, right from the 50 mm diameter to about size whatsoever the amateurs or the people have, they can project the image of the sun during the transit, and they can see the movement of the Mercury in front of the disk of the sun. And by and large, we will be able to appreciate this particular astronomical event. So I wish everyone who is going to look at this event that they should get a clear sky and they should be able to see the transit of Mercury and they should enjoy it.
All right, so one of the most exciting and rare events for the whole year will happen on 9th of May. Don't miss it, but make sure that you take necessary precautions. Well, thank you so much, Dr. Arvind, for joining us and sharing this interesting piece of information with us. Thank you so much. Well, that is all for this episode of Science Monitor. Do tell us how do you like our program. You can send your feedback and suggestions. Our email ID is news@vigyanprasar.gov.in. You can also write into us at Vigyan Prasar, C24, Kutub Institutional Area, New Delhi 110016. Well, that is all for today. We'll be back with fresh news stories on science and technology again next week. Till then, stay tuned to Rajya Sabha TV and think scientific. Bye-bye.